mentioned that Dragonfly's Phishing as a Service security awareness program is something that you were involved in. What does it actually entail if someone was to go through that program?
Well, the overarching life cycle of a phishing campaign is pretty much sitting down with you at the get-go and identifying a bespoke campaign that you would like to run inside your organisation. We've seen that not one size fits all when it comes to phishing campaigns, because you may have different objectives that you want to try and reach and educate internally, and we kind of firstly identify what that looks like. What that does is that sets the scene. So are we doing a ransomware style? Are we doing a credential style? Is it coming from your cloud provider? Is it coming from inside your organization? Is it emulating a bank in terms of its phishing characteristics around the email? And then we'd go ahead and we kind of would put in those elements to the email. We'd build the campaign and we'd build the email in consultation with yourself to make sure that it's got the right mix of legitimacy and gotchas in a way that the users can actually have a fair chance to identify a phishing email, because it's not fair if we rig it too one-sided. And that way we work through that, and we start very basic, and we might start with a small subset of your user base. We wouldn't do a whole user base across the whole organization, just to kind of get you to understand and feel what that looks like. And immediately, as soon as we launch the email campaign out to your user base that you've selected from the get-go, we'll start to see the results come through. We'll start to see who's opened, who's clicked through, who's downloaded, who's provided credentials, and we'll collect all that safely and securely for you. We'll also identify you immediately if we get credentials, because they're out of the bag. And what we do then is we will kind of simulate that. We'll then collect the data, we will wrap it up and group it, and we would put it into a report and a dashboard for you, where you can kind of have a dashboard view across all of that user base that you saw in terms of the campaign. But most importantly from that is you almost get a one-liner that you can take to your board of directors. And then that becomes a metric for you, for your organisation, to understand how many people inside your organisation, what percentage of your organisation are still falling victim to phishing through our simulation activities. And that's a good gauge. And then when they see that number and they understand the value behind it, and then they see that number coming down, there's some real value and some return on investment going through that training awareness program with us.